Just some shocking and deeply embarrassing admissions from the Pentagon today. Remember that drone strike near the end of the chaotic exit from Afghanistan? Early word was the military targeted the terrorists who struck our troops and the Afghan citizens at the gate there, remember? Well, now the Pentagon admits that drone strike was a tragic mistake. Tragic and deadly. They say the strike in Kabul killed as many as 10 civilians, including 7 children. Commander of CENTCOM says the investigation found it is unlikely the attack killed any ISIS-K members at all.
This strike was taken in the earnest belief that it would prevent an imminent threat to our forces and the evacuees at the airport. But it was a mistake, and I offer my sincere apology.
That strike happened August 29th, 3 days after the suicide bombers attacked the Kabul airport. That attack killed 13 U.S. service members and an estimated 170 Afghans who flocked to the airport in hopes of leaving the country. Just after that U.S. drone strike, military officials spoke definitively, saying that it killed multiple ISIS-K suicide bombers. But now the Pentagon reports the missile hit this Toyota Corolla. And officials say the driver was innocent, and so were the bystanders who also died. Those 7 children and 3 adults, reportedly all part of the same family. This burial held for them late last month. NBC's Courtney Cubie is live for us at the Pentagon. Have they given any indication for Courtney how they got this so wrong?
No, we went through, we heard the timeline today from General Frank McKenzie, who you played a little bit of him in the introduction. He walked through how a U.S. drone was overhead for 8 hours watching this Toyota Corolla, and he explained that there had been intelligence that there was a Corolla that ISIS may be using, may be plotting to strike at Kabul airport again. Of course, as you mentioned, Shep, this comes just about 3 days, or came just about 3 days after an attack at Kabul airport killed 13 American service members and more than 150 Afghans, wounding dozens of others as well. So the U.S. military was already on edge. They were worried about a follow-on attack. But they were clearly, now we know, following the wrong Toyota Corolla. And it's important to also point out, that's a pretty common car there in Kabul. It's not uncommon to see that vehicle. And the fact that they were watching the wrong individual as he moved around Kabul all day long, picking up and dropping off people, picking up items and dropping them off. One of those items turned out what the U.S. military thought were potential explosives. It's now clear that those were water canisters. One thing that we also heard in the aftermath of this strike was, in addition to the fact that the military called it, General Milley called it a righteous strike, they were confident that there had been a secondary explosion. Well, now it looks as if that was not actually explosives in the vehicle, but it may have been some sort of a propane tank or some other source of fuel near the vehicle at the time that caused that secondary explosion. So the big question is, what happens now? Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has ordered a review, and a defense official I spoke with late this evening, Shep, said that we should expect there's the potential that people will be fired once that review is complete.